The Knocking at 3:03 a.m. Part 4. The final knock that night. No one slept. The entire house remained silent. Grandma sat in front of the family altar. Fresh incense burned without interruption. Grandpa held the small bronze bell in one hand. The faded talismans rested beside him. The red string was still tied around my wrist. The old bronze mirror never left my pocket. No one spoke. We waited. Every second felt longer than the last. The clock on the wall continued to tick. Slowly, it approached 3:03 a.m. The room suddenly turned cold, colder than ever before. The candle flames began to tremble. The smell of incense slowly faded. Then, 3 knocks echoed through the house. Knock, knock, knock. Not from the front door. From somewhere inside the house, I felt my heartbeat stop. Grandpa slowly stood up. His eyes scanned every corner of the room. The knocking came again. This time, from the ceiling. Knock, knock, knock. Dust drifted onto the floor. The wooden beams groaned above us. Grandma quietly picked up one of the old talismans. She held it tightly in both hands. No one moved. The third knock came almost immediately. Not from above, not from the walls, from behind me. Knock, knock, knock. Every muscle in my body froze. I remembered the old man's warning. Don't turn around. No matter what you hear, don't turn around. A cold breath brushed against the back of my neck. Then, someone whispered. Very softly, almost like a breath. Open the door. The voice sounded distant, neither male nor female. It was impossible to tell where it came from. Another whisper followed, closer this time. You've been waiting for me. The red string around my wrist suddenly tightened. It wasn't painful. It was as if something was pulling me back, keeping me from taking even a single step. Grandpa spoke without looking at me. The mirror. My shaking hand reached into my pocket. I pulled out the bronze mirror. Its surface was dark. For a moment, nothing appeared. Then, the mirror slowly cleared. A shadow stood behind me, completely still. Its shape was human, but everything else was wrong. Its arms were far too long. Its head leaned unnaturally to one side. Its entire body was covered by something that looked like soaked white cloth. Yet, when I tried to focus on its face, there was nothing there, only darkness. The shadow didn't move. It simply stood there, watching, waiting. Then, the knocking stopped. The silence that followed was even more terrifying. The silence lasted only a few seconds. Then, the shadow inside the mirror began to move. It took one slow step forward. The knocking returned. Knock, knock, knock. This time, the sound came from the mirror itself. A thin crack spread across its surface. Then another, and another. The old man had said only one thing. Look into the mirror. He had never said, how long? Grandpa raised the bronze bell. Its clear tone echoed through the house. Once, twice, 3 times. The knocking suddenly stopped. The shadow froze. Grandma quietly placed the last faded talisman onto the family altar. The incense, which had gone out moments before, burst back into flame. The room filled once again with its familiar scent. The shadow slowly lifted its head. For the first time, it wasn't looking at me. It was staring at the burning incense. The red string around my wrist grew warm, not hot, just warm enough for me to feel it. Grandpa spoke without taking his eyes off the mirror. Don't be afraid. Whatever happens, don't look away. I tightened my grip on the bronze mirror. The shadow took another step, then another, until it stood directly behind me. It never touched me. It never spoke again. It simply waited, as though it wanted me to lose my courage. Seconds felt like hours. My hands were shaking. The cracks across the mirror spread even farther. I thought it was about to shatter. Then, the shadow began to fade. Its outline grew thinner. The soaked white cloth slowly disappeared into darkness. The cold inside the house lifted. The knocking became weaker. Knock, knock. Silence. The mirror stopped cracking. The red string loosened around my wrist. A warm breeze drifted through the open windows. Outside, the first birds began to sing. Morning had come. Grandpa slowly lowered the bronze bell. Grandma let out a long breath. Neither of them smiled. Grandpa looked at the mirror in my hands. It won't come back. He paused. Not to this house. I looked at the front door. It was still closed, exactly as it had been all night. No muddy footprints, no whispers, no knocking, only silence. Later that morning, the old man returned one last time. He looked at the mirror, then at the red string around my wrist. He gave a small nod. You chose not to answer. You chose not to turn around. That is why you are still here. I I wanted to ask him what the creature truly was, but he simply smiled. Some doors were never meant to be opened. With those words, he walked away. No one in the village ever saw him again. Years have passed since that night. The old house still stands beside the river. The bronze mirror remains locked away. The red string has long since faded, but every year, when the night grows unusually quiet, I remember the sound that changed everything. 3 slow knocks at exactly 3 a.m. And whenever someone asks why I never answer a knock in the middle of the night, I tell them only one thing. If you ever hear someone knocking at your door at 3 a.m., no matter whose voice is calling, don't open the door. The end.